Hello and welcome to Politics, Prose, and Pop Culture. I'm Rashonda Tate Billingsley.
And I'm Victoria Christopher Murray. Rashonda, are we ever, ever going to talk about the pros
And the
of
pop
pop
culture.
culture?
What would we look at like right now talking about pop culture when we have a deranged man who's refusing to vacate the White House? So, yes, we will, just not right now.
I guess you have a point because he is a deranged man, and you really believe that he's not going to leave.
Oh, I believe he's going to leave. He may even leave at, like they said at Christmas and never return. I believe he's going to leave. He
Yeah,
does not want the optics of being dragged
he
out.
doesn't. That's what I keep telling you. So no one ever has to worry about him being dragged out of the White House because he doesn't want that. In fact, I think he's trying to figure out now exactly how to figure this out. How to go. He's starting to just tweet things. I won the election. I won the election. And we're all supposed to believe it.
He's like an old man an old senile man that's just sitting in the nursing home yelling, "Get off my lawn," and other crazy things.
Yeah. And so that's pretty much what he's doing now. So, what I wanted to talk about tonight was what is going on. And you and I were talking about the peaceful transition of power, how this is going to work and everything. Trump does not have to concede.
Yes.
He
That
doesn't have to
that's
concede.
just a common courtesy. He's never had courtesy before. Why start now?
Why do we think that? It's not part of the Constitution. But what is that woman at the GSA who was supposed to open up all of the powers of the government to the president who's coming in. And this is just another place, Rashonda, where America should thank Black women.
Of course.
Of course, we saved democracy because we told them the right person to put in there.
And a lot of people now, Victoria, are wondering what happens during this transition phase since Donald Trump is making his team not comply. Well, as we said last week, the good thing is Joe's been there before. Jill knows where the seasonings are in the White House kitchen, so they're good. But wanted to talk a little bit about the transition.
Well, what's really good is not only do they know where the bathrooms are, where the seasoning are, what kind of ice cream is in the freezer. Not only do they know all of that, but Joe knows, especially foreign policy, that has always been his forte. That was why Barack Obama chose him as well. And so what he's done is, I think, just masterful. He has connections. Foreign leaders are calling him on his cell phone. They're like, we couldn't get you through Pompeo at the State House, so we're going to just call you on your cell phone. But what he did today was gather people who know everything about foreign policy. Because remember, he's only been out 4 years. But, I mean, that's a good thing and it's a bad thing because it is 4 years. But he's only been out 4 years. It seems like a lot longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, really.
But he's only been away 4 years. So it's not that much time. But he today gathered, I think it was for 16 people to tell him what's going on in every single region of the world. And so he is just totally, he's getting his information in a different way. He got a whole bunch of lemons with that dude that's in the White House now. So he's learned how to make some lemonade and put some tequila in it at the same time.
So we do know that Donald Trump has canceled his Thanksgiving trip to Mar-a-Lago because he's staying at home in the bunker, sulking and denying defeat. And Biden is moving about the business. So those that are worried about the transition, there really isn't a whole lot to worry about. I do know some people are concerned about tackling the coronavirus, right?
Yes, because he wanted to. They don't want to have any space. They don't want to have to be getting to up to it on January 20th. They wanted it to be a seamless transition, and it will be as seamless as it can be with this nut. Joe is already putting together. He has his task force. They are already making plans. They want to know what's going on with the vaccines. But Pfizer called Joe Biden to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first call they made. so that didn't sit well with the current occupant of the White House. But they are going to do the best they can. We have somebody with experience, and I think you can see how he's bringing Kamala along.
Yeah.
She is involved in everything. He wasn't like that with, Vice President isn't usually like that, but he is involving her in every single thing just in case she has to take over for whatever reason.
Well, and I do like you saw today on the Senate floor how they were silently congratulating her. Even Lindsey Graham gave her a fist bump. So they know that Donald Trump is crazy. They're trying to straddle this fine line between his crazy and doing what's right. Moving on.
Especially since because of those Georgia elections coming up. They're trying to keep his voters. But you know what, Rashonda? I'm not convinced that Donald Trump is an asset in Georgia. Didn't he just lose Georgia?
He lost Georgia, and if anything, he's going to be a driving force. Did you see today the Georgia Secretary of State talked about he actually suppressed the vote so much that he might have won by 10,000 if he hadn't suppressed the vote. And that is because he was so against the mail-in ballot. The Georgia Secretary of State said they had 10,000 less mail-in and absentee ballots than they normally have on the Republican side.
And so Trump tried to suppress, I believe he did that in several places where he suppressed his own vote.
Yeah.
Where he messed it up himself. But I'm not sure. I still think that Georgia went blue. And I think what I think is so great about the Georgia election is that Reverend Warnock and John Warnock and Ossoff, bring two totally different constituencies.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to have a certain kind of voter who's going to be there for John, a certain kind who's going to be there for the Reverend. You put them together and we're good.
And have you seen that 600,000 people have requested their absentee ballot?
600,000 people, Rashonda. So that's why I think we better let out everybody know. Everybody you know in Atlanta, text them now. I don't care if it's your sister, your mother, your brother.
All parts of Georgia, actually, not just Atlanta.
Oh, did I say Atlanta?
Yeah.
I kind of think of Atlanta.
That's Georgia. That's
like I think of New York City as New York.
Yeah.
I was trying not to say Atlanta, but everybody that you know in Georgia, because you know what? 2 people have come on my Facebook page saying they didn't even know that there was a special election. So let's not take anything for granted. And just text your friends and say, hey, are you ready for the special election in Georgia on January 5th? And just see what they say. And if they have any questions, send them to us.
Okay. And so we want to get people out to vote in Georgia. We want you to spread the word. We want you to be happy that the vote was affirmed in Georgia today. So it has been confirmed that Biden won, like we didn't know that. And Trump has until today to pay that $7.9 million in Wisconsin for the recount.
In Wisconsin, they just certified all their votes. And so I think did they give him to 5 o'clock today or 5 o'clock tomorrow?
I thought it was today.
Okay, so $7.9 million he has to pay. The cost of that has quadrupled since 2016, but it's because of the pandemic. And because it's Trump, he has to pay up front.
I saw that. Wisconsin was like, run us our money up front.
Yeah, because like Rudy's not going to get any money. He's trying to get $20,000 a day. Hasn't argued a case in 28 years. Speaking of Rudy, I know people are concerned about all these lawsuits. Are you?
Not at all, especially now that Rudy is the lead attorney. Rudy.
Oh my God. Do you know that all of those highfalutin law firms here in D.C. have all backed away?
Because their reputation and credibility is on the line. So that's something else to scratch from your worry list.
25 cases have been thrown out, completely thrown out. The judge says to the people, so are you claiming fraud? And then the lawyers say, well, not really fraud. There was just these 18 votes over here that we're concerned about. And literally, seriously, the cases are going like that, Rashonda. It's absolutely crazy.
And I saw some of the judges are actually getting irritated with it all.
Very irritated. You told me about a judge in Michigan who kind of went off, right?
Yes, yes, they're tired of it. They're like, you're wasting our time with these frivolous lawsuits. And that's why the attorneys are dropping off, because they know it. And so Donald Trump can tweet all in all caps all night long, because that's what he does. He gets up at like 3 a.m. and just rage tweets, and doesn't matter. Pretty soon, we're not going to care what he's talking about at all.
I don't care right now. You know, he used to raise my blood pressure, but now I'm kind of entertained by him and those children, those offspring that he has. I'm very entertained by them. So people don't have to worry about the lawsuits. They don't have to worry about him leaving the White House. People are like, oh, he ain't gonna leave. You think he wants that on national TV in color, being dragged out? I want it on color. I do too. But he's not going to give us what we want.
Yeah.
He's not.
He'll sneak out through that bunker basement tunnel outside the White House. Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see what he does, because he's not going to go to the inauguration. And so, because he's going to say he won, and he's not going to be able to sit there, and he doesn't want the cameras on him. He'll know the cameras will be on him. So it'll be very interesting to see what he does, because he doesn't come out in public. He's not going to Mar-a-Lago only because he's embarrassed by this loss.
Okay, well, we will keep watching, keep following it. I love that it's dying down. The news is dying down, and we can return to normal, boring political coverage.
We're going to be, you know why they call him Sleepy Joe?
Because we're going to be able to sleep in and not jump up and check Twitter and see if the world has ended overnight.
That's exactly why. The day that he got announced that he was definitely president-elect, I slept for 9 hours that night. I hadn't slept for 9 hours since Trump became president.
So good. So we will keep coming. We may come back with some prose and pop culture at some point. I think we got a little bit. We need to get at least through the transition and keep educating.
We get through the transition, but we're going to have to talk about some other things before the transition. We're going to have to talk about, first of all, a lot of people don't know what's going on with me and my movies.
Oh, yes. See, we need to talk about that. And I need to talk to you because I haven't got my call for that starring role.
Yeah, well,
and you better get on me.
We did tell you what happened. You know who they cast that. Even you called me and said, okay, the role I wanted, I can't beat the woman that they cast for.
Yeah, she was a tad bit better than me. I will give her that. But I am an Academy Award winning supporting actress for my role. So you better let your
but you are not an Academy Award winning. You didn't win the award.
Academy Award winning, not an Academy nominated. I can't even get my lie together. I need an Academy Award, so you need to get on that.
Yeah, so we have other things to talk about, but we have to keep people really informed about this. Oh, I know one last question before we go, Rashonda. People keep asking, can the electors change their votes? Because when they go to vote in December. Mm-hmm. And people must have forgotten about 2016 when they were trying to get the electors to turn the votes. And each state has a different law about that. Not to worry, Joe Biden will be confirmed president in December.
Before we go, we do have a question. Do you think Stacey Abrams will be part of Biden's cabinet?
That's a good question. I think she's going to run for governor again.
Yeah. I think Stacey needs to be secretary of whatever she wants.
Yeah, I've seen that meme.
Yeah.
But what do you think? First of all, she either needs to be the head of the DNC because she is the hero. Right. I mean, serious. But her and Beto. But Beto's done a good job, but he didn't deliver Texas. She delivered Georgia. And she's been working in it for 10 years. I would have thought she would have been part of his cabinet, but she's been, first of all, Biden's going to call her and ask her for what she wants.
Yeah.
If she's not on there, she doesn't want to be.
Right.
The second thing is she's been making a little noise saying that she's going to go for Georgia again. She wants to have a rematch with Kemp.
Yeah. I saw that. I am very excited about the moves that Biden is making so far. Cedric Richmond today, he's going to be a high-level senior staffer in the White House.
He's gonna have the role that's almost equivalent to Valerie Jarrett. So really exciting, and he's one of my favorite from the time he was the head of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Yeah, mine too. And then there are rumors of Simone Sanders as press secretary. Now, what I don't like is we've been seeing on Twitter a lot of, oh, she's too angry. She can't be any angrier than Sarah Sanders. But you know, that whole black woman thing. But that's a big thing.
That. But there's rumors about that. That would be absolutely amazing. I think he's done a great job. More than half of the appointees so far have been women. And it's a blend of America. There are white men there.
Yes.
But
he actually has 52% of women of color in his transition team.
I think that's amazing.
3% senior staffers as people of color.
And he's going to have a lot of young people because he sees himself as the bridge. Mm-hmm. As the bridge between the old guard and the new guard. And he wants to train up and bring people. I'm sure Pete Buttigieg is going to be on there. In something. I'm very excited to see who's going to be the Attorney General, the head of the Department of Justice. A lot of people are saying Sally Yates, and which would be poetic justice because Trump fired her.
Yes.
Over
I can tell you who won't be. Former President Barack Obama said Michelle would leave him if he was in Biden's cabinet.
Yeah, I know that.
People keep talking about it, but he cleared it up.
Alone. The Obamas have served their time.
Yes. Go buy his book, A Promised Land.
Exactly. So I think that's it. But that was a good question. I think if Stacey's not in the cabinet, it's because she doesn't want to be, because Joe will let her do whatever she wants to do. But I think she wants to. Have you heard the rumors about her running for governor again?
I have. And before we get mad and do cancel culture, because, folks will get mad at Biden for not putting her in the cabinet. Trust and believe if she's not there, it's because she doesn't want to be.
Exactly. So
all right.
I think that's all for this week, Rashonda.
That is. Now I'm going to play mommy and head to a football game because, I got the next little Deion Sanders out there.
Oh, and I have a production meeting with the movie.
Hey, get on that. I can be where y'all filming. I can leave on the first flight out in the morning. You better let them know.
I'll let them know.
We need to come talk about that next week, though.
Talk about my movies?
Talk about your movies.
Okay. That's a good tease. They're like way further ahead than people know.
Yes, they are. And we need to hear all about it. So we'll be back here next week to do that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We love bringing you these updates and we hope you enjoy. Take care.
Bye.